What elephant? I ain't got no elephant in here.
Like right over there.
I ain't got no elephant in here.
It's literally behind you. So we need to address it.
My drum set?
We need to address it. Hey guys, and welcome back to Unadulterated You. I'm Bianca, and this is my partner, Teddy.
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, we're glad to be back with you again. And tonight we have another topic.
What's the topic?
Yeah, so I want to know, Teddy, a lot of times we have, some challenging situations. Yet again, we talking about challenges, right? So I want to know, like in relationship and friendship, whatever, could be the work situation. How do we address the elephant in the room? What is the correct way to address elephants in the room?
What elephant? I ain't got no elephant in here.
Like right over there.
I ain't got no elephant in here.
It's literally behind you, so we need to address it.
My drum set?
We need to address it.
My drum set?
It's sitting at the drum set. So let's talk about it.
Okay, what about me on the drum set?
How do we address it?
Address what?
The elephant in the room. Quit acting slow.
I'm lost now.
Okay, so an elephant in the room. Goodness. That's like when you may have done something like the other day or whatever. We get back together and I act like nothing's happened.
Okay. Oh, okay, gotcha. See, you confusing me. You gotta be more blunt with it. Like, I really thought it was an elephant in the room. Like,
because I tend to tiptoe around stuff, maybe, and you're more direct.
Exactly. Like me, I'm gonna tell it how it is. Huh?
You're just gonna tell it in a work situation, no matter what it is. How do you address it? Like,
well, to be honest with you,
before you answer, this is a good time to talk about it because it is Black History Month, as if we don't need to have it every month. But
what are you trying to apply about Black History Month?
Well, think about in the work setting, it's probably a lot of elephants going on around there these days because
not really. I drive a truck. I'll be
not you, but they be feeling some kind of way. So how do you address it? What in a work situation, you just gonna come out and say what you need to say?
Well, to be honest with you, most of my friends that know me as a quiet person. And the reason why I'm quiet is because I notice the elephants in the room. And I choose to stay quiet because I don't want no drama. I don't feel like fighting with people. Because most people don't want to address the truth most of the time.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, the truth, I know the truth, but we can't address it. Whoever that individual is, they know it, both parties know it, and they don't want to address it. Why is that an uncomfortable feat? You know what I mean? Like, why is that a problem?
Because most people ain't real with themselves.
Yeah.
Like, if let's say you borrow $20 from me. You know you borrowed $20 from me. I know you did. I walk into the room. I'm like, okay, today should be payday because we both right here together, right? You owe me money. You know you owe me money. But you acting like you don't see me. Like, why? You said the workplace, right? So why, when I walk to your desk, you act like you gotta go file some papers or you on your way to the restroom? Why are you trying to avoid me?
Like you said, it's about being real and it's about being honest. Honest with myself first, because I can be dishonest and act as if I don't owe you, which is disingenuous. But to remove my pride and be honest is a whole nother story. So that's the thing. It's all about honesty, I think. We are afraid to be honest with ourselves and honest with others as well. But the thing is, I think if we can't be honest with ourselves first, then we'll never be honest with others and we'll never address those difficult situations. But truth be told, in the Bible, there were some difficult situations people was calling people out a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like it shouldn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just the fact that we live in this world that we're afraid to be honest with each other.
True. Well, now this question I got to ask you. You say about being honest with each other. How can you be honest with me if you're not honest with you?
Well, yeah, so that's the thing. Again, how is it's not a how. I can't be. That's just it.
I mean, that's the sad part because, like, if you really think about it, like, think about people who go to AA, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first thing they go through the whole process, they try to get the person to admit that you have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't never ever admit that you have an issue, you're never gonna see that you have a problem. Because I know some people that if you talk about a situation that they've done or that they do, they'll never fess up to what they've done. It's always the next person or what somebody made me do. So they never take responsibility. So how can I address the elephant in the room when you are no fault person to begin with?
Yeah, and that elephant is just gonna forever live in that room though. That's gonna be the problem. And it's taking up a lot of space. It's taking up a lot of effort and all this extra. Well, we could just address it and kick it out, right? Anybody, like when you reference an addiction, anybody with an addiction, that takes a lot away from a person. You know, emotionally, physically, monetarily, it takes a lot away from a person. So when you address that, okay, I do have an issue and begin to deal with that, then, you know, all of those things that is draining your emotions, your money, and all that stuff, you can begin to knock that off, those issues off one by one. But it's only when you are able to be honest with yourself. And I think also when you say they go to AA and they say, "Hey, I'm so and so, and I'm an alcoholic," right? So they're speaking, which is crazy, to other people, confessing to other people. But the truth is, they had to confess it to themselves for it to even be vocalized.
Exactly.
So it sounds like I'm telling you that, but I'm really acknowledging it for myself.
Exactly.
So again, when I was talking to you or asking about the elephant in the room, is it really you that's in that room? You know, is it really something that is you that's there?
That's true. You know what? While you was talking, I think that's kind of like the process of repentance, also, because it's like God already knows what you do. He knows everything. So pretty much you saying, Lord, forgive me for I did such and such, such and such. So it's almost that same process of where you kind of taking that pride out of the whole situation and saying, yeah, I made a mistake and I need your help or to forgive me for what I've done.
That's right. And the thing is, when you're saying it, what's for you to acknowledge it? Actually, let's have an honest moment. The other day, I done something and I was like, well, God already, my subconscious was like, okay, God already know whatever. Kind of feeling like it didn't need to be talked about, you know,
Exactly.
between me and God. But then I was like, no, like I need to vocalize that or, you know, put sound to that so I can repent, to know that this is not something that I wanted to do, nothing, something that is intentional, and so that I could pretty much stop the pattern.
Exactly.
Or, you know, kind of stop myself in my tracks, because the thing is, when we don't acknowledge, hi, I'm so and so and I'm an alcoholic, I continue to drink because I'm not an alcoholic. I don't have to own that, right?
Yeah.
Anytime when you're not owning an issue, I'm not owning a problem, you know, that's that elephant that stays there. And so when I said, how do you address it? Would be to just call it out. Doesn't have to be rude. It doesn't have to be unkempt. It doesn't have to be any of that. It could be that you just say what it is. That's why we have a voice to speak with one another, to talk, to communicate. So communicate what is the hindrance so that we can move forward. There are so many times that relationships fail on all scales. because the problems are not addressed. And where I'm confused is why are people okay with sacrificing a relationship and just to save their pride, not to address the issue?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question.
You
And
know,
I'm glad you put. I don't even know. I'm not sure, but I'm glad you brought up communication because I think a lot of times there's usually a lot of confusion because maybe I have to go back to our last video we just did, a perspective. So maybe if you were to communicate and address the elephant in the room, you would know that, okay, me and you have an issue with each other, but we didn't know it because we didn't communicate it. But now that we communicate and we can verbally express how you feel and how I feel, maybe that situation was the same situation, but you viewed it one way and I viewed it another way. So now that we both discuss how both of us feel, we can meet in the middle and resolve the issue.
exactly. That's huge. And so then we can go forward and, you know, who knows why God placed you or me, whenever you're in that situation or you with that individual, who knows why? It may be for you to do something huge right here on this earth, right? But then we allow our pride and our lack of communication skills, actually, or desire to communicate, to stunt our growth, to stunt our relationships. And so that's big. Communication is huge. And so that's how we address it. With
Exactly.
love, we approach the situation. Now, who's to say that once the elephant is addressed, that elephant is not gonna go crazy and run all over the room and tear up everything? Okay, cool, but at least we know we tried.
But again, it also goes back to your approach because while we talking about this subject, I thought about, huh?
What you thought about?
I thought, no, you think about something negative.
I thought about something.
No, I'm not thinking about that. I know what you talk about.
Elephant has gone crazy to me.
No, I'm talking about my dad. A lot of people, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know what you talking about.
No, yes, you do. We're gonna cut into that. Go ahead, your dad.
But my dad, we was talking about how the elephant would go crazy, but it's also about your approach because my dad, anybody who knew my dad, he was a very verbal person and very opinionated, and he was very blunt. Like he will tell anybody's elephant in the room. But the thing is, a lot of times he was right of what he was saying, but it was his approach because he was so aggressive and so kind of sort of like judgmental a little bit. So even though he may have some good points, because of his approach to addressing you, a lot of people took offense the way my dad's personality was.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I will say though, it doesn't have to be that the person's personality has to be such as your dad's. That person could be, you know, mild mannered, or once you approach this issue with a person, they not have the communication skills to, you know, I guess leverage the situation. So another elephant, you know, we address an elephant with an individual is what I'm saying. And, you know, the elephant, the results were still the same, in my opinion, that the relationship was not salvaged for then. I don't know what's to come. I'm just saying for then it was not salvaged. So sometimes it's about the approach and sometimes it's about your ability to communicate. You know what I mean?
Well, you gotta understand, us as people, this is one thing I know is about us as humans. Like a lot of us, especially as you get older and older, you got baggage, you got drama, you got stuff that you went through. All of us been through stuff, and a lot of us carry stuff inside. So sometimes if you try to address a person, they're still hurting from past stuff. So when you address them about a certain situation, they let a lot of that past frustration come out on you, even though it has nothing to do with you, but they're still hurting and still not healed from pretty much life.
Yeah. So I get that. And so, all we can do at the end of the day is our best in approaching, these issues that sometimes come up. And we cannot control the responses. We cannot control that. But I think that the main thing is for us to be accountable in addressing issues, accountable for our own actions and accountable for our approach and even our perspective on the situation. Because sometimes we think it's an elephant, but it's actually a mouse. It's not that deep, And sometimes,
yeah, but some people scared of mice, though.
Well, mice are a pest as well. But I think that I would address a mice with a trap.
A mice? You said a mice?
A mouse. Excuse me. With a trap. I would address a mouse with a trap. As opposed to an elephant, I really don't know how to address that. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't know how to catch an elephant or how to get rid of one. I don't know. So it's different.
I know. But again, it's all about taking accountability for yourself.
Yeah.
Because we talk about addressing somebody else's elephant. What if somebody wants to address your elephant? So you have to be grown enough or adult, or I'd rather say mature enough to be able to listen and hear what somebody got to say, because they might have a good point. You may not agree everything of what they're saying, but they might have a good point. Like, they might say, oh, well, like, I'll give you a perfect example. I posted a drum video maybe a month ago, and a guy put a comment and he said, nice video, but you should bend your wrist more. So if I was in my feelings, I could have been like, man, bro, I'm killing it right now. What you talking about, man? You talking about? But if I could be open-minded, he's right. Because anybody who plays drums will tell you, you play with your fingers and your wrists. You don't play with your arms. So maybe that day I was a little bit tense. Maybe that, you know what I'm saying? So again, you have to be able to receive the information also, and not just be so on the offense.
That's big. I think about saying I've been hearing a lot often is that when you are faced with an issue or difficulty or whatever it is with a person, or if a person brings something, a lot of times it's something that is within you that you're kind of faced with. So if you can kind of go with me there, if this person is getting on my nerves for whatever reason, a lot of times, and let me go past it. I have children. So every last one of these children are like some part of me.
Yeah.
So one of them may do something that really aids me, but I promise you that's probably likely something I've displayed to them.
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? And so I can't really get upset on that, right? And each of them have their own personalities and they do things differently. But something within each of them is something that probably was with me. And it's like, if that's the case, why can't I deal with that situation with more love? Because I needed the grace, I needed mercy in those situations before I developed past that. Or maybe I've not developed past that. And so why can't I deal with that situation in love? Or with more love, you know what I'm saying? Instead of being impatient about it.
Exactly. Right. Like you said, more patient. Not like the other day. I was on the phone with her. Man, she had me cracking up. We just talking, and she was like,
"Not even try."
Yeah, yo, I'm trying to imitate it the best I can.
I'm not.
You hear she talk on quiet, like she all civilized and all this.
No,
we was on the phone. And I just heard, who's over there coughing? I was like,
whoa. It was not that bad. Like,
yes, it was. Who coughing over there?
I did not yell like that. I said, who is that coughing? Because I thought, like, who is coughing? You know, we got this virus, we got all this stuff. Quit playing.
I was scared for those children.
whatever.
My heart jumped a little bit.
Who's coughing?
I was scared. Your voice was elevated.
So you feel like that wasn't love? That wasn't patience?
It was, but you was a little aggressive.
I probably was, yeah. But let me talk about you. I'm just playing. I've not witnessed the time yet.
What, did I yell at my son? I don't yell at Aiden.
You know, it's gonna
He's
be
a perfect little boy.
You say he's perfect to you.
Perfect little boy.
To you. All these children have flaws, and so it's gonna be something that works your nerves.
Oh, don't go there.
So anyway, y'all, thank you for tuning in to this topic. Addressing the elephant in the room, and we got a couple more to address, but we're just gonna leave it right here. And hopefully you guys can comment below with some experience.
You shady as hell, man.
What
you said? You be sending some subliminal shots on here, man. What was that about?
Listen, guys. So comment down below and follow us at Unadulterated You, and on Instagram and Facebook, and email us unadulteratedU@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be back with you with another video. When?
I don't know, man. I'm still over here shaking my head. You talk about people on this internet, man.
I'm talking about you. So
me?
Yes, we have a few more elephants to address, and stay tuned with us next time.
Terrible.
Say bye.